Welcome to the TOEFL Listening section. In this section, you will listen to an academic lecture and then answer questions about what you heard. You may take notes while you listen. You will have time to review your notes before answering the questions. Listen to part of a lecture in a university class. You will hear the lecture only once, so listen carefully. After the lecture, you will answer some questions about what you heard. Some questions ask about the main ideas and supporting details. Other questions ask you to make inferences or connections between ideas. Answer each question based on what is stated or implied in the lecture.
Good morning, everyone. Today we will examine early human tool use and what lithic technologies reveal about cognitive and social evolution in prehistoric societies. I want to start with a simple question. What do we mean by tool use in an archaeological context? In our field, a tool is any modified material object used intentionally to alter another object or perform a task. The earliest and most durable evidence for tool use comes from stone artifacts. So we will follow a chronological trajectory from the Oldowan industry to Acheulean bifaces and on to prepared core technologies such as Levallois. Oldowan tools first appear at sites like Oldowan Gorge about 2.6 million years ago. These artifacts are simple cores and flakes produced by percussion flaking using hard hammer strikes. Oldowan flakes were likely used for cutting and percussion tasks related to butchery and plant processing. Experimental work shows that even a single flaked edge greatly increases cutting efficiency compared with an unmodified stone. Moving forward, we encounter Acheulean industries roughly 1.7 million years ago. Handaxes are the hallmark. These are large, bifacially flaked tools with a more refined shape and symmetry. Acheulean handaxes suggest increased motor skill and planning. They are associated with a longer reduction sequence where a core is prepared over multiple stages to produce a desired form. A major shift appears again with prepared core techniques like Levallois, which become common in the Middle Pleistocene around 300 to 200,000 years ago. The Levallois method produces predictable flake shapes by preparing a core platform in advance. Prepared core technology indicates more abstract planning and conceptually organizing a sequence of steps to reach a final product. Prior knowledge of geometry and the ability to visualize the final flake are required. In addition to describing tool forms, I want to emphasize case studies that show diverse activities. Gesher Benot Yaakov in Israel provides evidence of flake stone used in woodworking and plant processing nearly 800,000 years ago. At Gesher Benot Yaakov, archaeologists found wood fragments associated with flint tools and burned plant remains, suggesting that stone tools were integrated into broader technological systems. Another important site is Blombos Cave in South Africa, where we see not only bone awls and engraved ochre, but also refined stone points and evidence of hafting around 77,000 years ago. When we find residues of adhesive and microscopic polish on a flake, it tells us that hominins had developed composite tools and were using hafting to attach stone to handles. Composite tools are significant because they increase leverage and control, which expands possible functions from cutting to scraping to projectile use. The presence of adhesives also implies knowledge of material properties and controlled processing of plant resins or tars. Use-wear analysis is another technique I want you to remember. It looks at microscopic polish and striations to infer how a tool was used. For example, a polished pattern indicates hide processing, whereas scarring and crushing points to heavy percussion. Experimental archaeology supports these inferences by replicating napping sequences and use scenarios. This approach gives us a behavioral bridge between the stone remains and hominin actions. From a cognitive perspective, the progression from Oldowan flakes to Levallois prepared cores and composite tools maps onto increasing planning depth, hierarchical organization, and social transmission of complex skills. Social learning is key because many napping techniques require observation and practice over long periods. Students who have tried flint napping know that precise control of angle and force is learned rather than invented anew by each individual. In summary, early human tool use shows both technological innovation and behavioral change across time. Case studies such as Oldowan Gorge, Gesher, Vino Yakov, and Blombo's Cave provide concrete examples of how stone tools were manufactured, used, and integrated into broader lifeways. Understanding lithic technology therefore provides a window into cognitive evolution, social learning, and the adaptive strategies of prehistoric societies. Thank you.
Listen again to part of the lecture. Then answer the question.
When we find residues of adhesive and microscopic polish on a flake, it tells us that hominins had developed composite tools and were using hafting to attach stone to handles.
This concludes the listening section. For more TOEFL practice tests and study materials, visit Spinta.org.